and the people have been involved in the grind of living to make a livelihood. But without art and culture, your history and the things you can take pride in are left behind. And I am very, very thankful to the Aga Khan Foundation, because all over Pakistan and elsewhere in the world, His Excellency Prince Aga Khan established the chair of architecture. He loves architecture. And when I go to the Hunza Valley and so many other places, even here in Lahore, for those of you who may not have visited, probably today is the right time to mention that the Wazir Khan Mosque and the Shahi Hammam have been recently renovated, and it traces our history back to the last few hundred years at least. I must thank them. I've always been fascinated by art and architecture in different ways. Of course by culture, of course by tradition, of course by the tradition of storytelling, because there's a lot of history which has been lost, which was in stories and communicated from the past to us, which was never written, never thought important enough to be written until most of it was lost. But I've always been impressed when I go to Europe. When I used to go to Europe, even the cobblestone paths with their different designs fascinated me. Even if you look around here, some of it has been restored, some of them must have been old. The way different stones are arranged in different designs, even the floors of the old buildings in the Renaissance Europe fascinates me. Of course, from the floors and the cobblestone paths, you go to Florence, and then you go to different churches, and the beauty of the art and architecture fascinates you. It's the liberation of man, it's the liberation of his mind when he starts producing art. It's the liberty. It's taken away from the daily grind of making a living and dog-eat-dog culture. I think what is needed throughout the world is some liberation from the daily grind. I must thank the government of Punjab and Mr. Kamran Lashari Sahab for the walled city, what you've done here. A lot of work goes into trying to preserve this and trying to preserve it for the future. In Pakistan, we need to promote, for example, museums. We need to promote appreciation of this. And in the past year, I've been impressed by different events, including looking at Gilgit-Baltistan and Azad Kashmir through the eyes of children, a beautiful exhibition which was held in PNCA. Then when I went to Karachi, there was a good exhibition of child art, especially those who were stricken by cancer. Some of them died, but they reproduced in their own mind what life is all about. That is art. What man thinks, what children think, that is art. So I have appreciated that. And in Pakistan, there is more and more promotion of such events and such things. The country is beautiful. There is a lot of history, and I must request some of you who may not have seen the Lahore Army Museum, do visit that. I became aware of something which was very unusual, that the civilization of the Indus Valley, the Sindh Darya civilization, when it was communicated to the Middle East, to Persia and Greece, the word Sindh changed into Hind. The actual civilization which in those days followed the rivers and the agriculture with the farmer, from the hunter-gatherer to the time when the farming culture was established, civilizations followed rivers and the prosperity which the delta would bring in. And the Sindh civilization became the Hind civilization, but it is here that if you follow the entire history, the Buddhist civilization took birth here, and recently very interesting for Pakistanis to feel proud of. Recently, there was a delegation of the most, along with the most venerable of monks from Thailand and then from Korea, who came to Pakistan and visited the stupas in the Hunza Valley as well as around Taxila and other places, and looked at the stone inscription in the valleys of Hunza and Gilgit. And they mentioned the fact that Buddhism went to Korea more than 1,000 years ago and was spread by a monk who traveled from Pakistan and from this area to Korea in about 900 years ago. And they still take pride in trekking back exactly the path that monk had taken on foot going to Korea. And we didn't know that. So there are a lot of aspects of our art and architecture and our culture which are hidden, which need to be explored, which the next generation has to learn. I've been fascinated by it. I try and to look at things, but how do you, yesterday I was at an opening of a museum, not an opening but an event at a museum. I am worried about the fact that how do you encourage people, children of Pakistan to visit museums, to visit these places. Now this is a beautiful thing. You have for 5 weeks you've made this as an event totally open to the public. But how do you make people and children, especially because they are going to lead the nation in the future, to go and appreciate what is there? So the attendance at the museums is not very, very good. It should be. And I am thinking of ways and means to be able to do that. How can you encourage them to go? So therefore, I think more and more such events will make sure that attention is grabbed, whether it's through television or elsewhere, that these things are to be seen, to be appreciated. Pakistan is opening up. Pakistan is opening up in a very nice manner, and as the clouds of insecurity have been lifted, it is emerging as an island. We are talking about trade, we are talking about, therefore we are talking about culture, and we talking about bringing people together in different ways. And art and culture, nothing better than art and culture to bring people together. So it's a nice day for the event. We can hardly sit in places without a shade in Pakistan, so this is a good event in the sun. And while sitting there listening to the nice speeches which were being made, I did a little bit of tukbandi, because दरमियान शम्स व कमर से आगे भी जहाँ और है, मगर दरमियान शम्स व कमर गर तलाश करोगे ज़मीन पर भी, शम्स व कमर तो फिर भी आफाकी कैफियत है ना, दरमियान शम्स व कमर गर तलाश करोगे ज़मीन पर भी तो पाओगे तराशे हुए मगर बिखरे हुए बहुत से लालो गहर. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum.